How's it going? I want to do a short video discussing my learning from my composition Child's Play, as well as thoughts behind it, both musical as well as personal, about the compositional style and all that. First things first, I did this with the goal of developing my own experience as a composer. I had not composed anything basically ever since, this was my last serious composition, last big one. 2006, that was 14 years ago, for my HSC. I did my HSC 14 years ago. This is what I did, a piece about the Disney character Stitch, and it's about how he goes on a rampage, basically. And this piece is very different. This piece was inspired by my child who is now 2, who, you know, and it's trying to explore how they play and the playfulness of a young toddler. However, as I started thinking about and composing this piece, you start finding as a composer that you invest your personality into your compositions. It's a representation of who you are as well. And I found that after composing this piece, it really reflects who I am as a person as well. This year especially, I have learnt once again the joy of simply playing with possibilities, learning new things. And as an adult, it's such a reminder not to lose that playfulness, because life can be really boring if you just lose the creativity, the playfulness, the learning new skills that you do have as a child. So that's been a big lesson for me, and I try to capture that kind of innocent playfulness of a child in my composition. So that's where we started with. Now I want to talk about some influences. Let's hear the opening theme first, and then we'll talk about, you know, where I got my ideas from. Okay, so there's the opening theme. Now there's 2 main sources, but there's hundreds of other ones that I would have, you know, that would have inspired me. The 2 main ones, first of all, this is designed to be in a classical style, and so Beethoven's Fur Elise. That piece, you all know it. What struck me, and I know a lot of you are sick to death of hearing it. As a piano player, you know, we hear it all the time, we teach it all the time. It gets a bit annoying, but recently I've rediscovered what makes it so charming, and that's its simplicity. If you think about the melody, there's only 3 notes in the melody. The melody is not the decorations, that's not the melody. The melody is this. Then, descending line. So really the tune only has a few very simple notes, which makes it so charming, makes it such a pretty composition. The other main source that inspired me was the song from composed by Michael Giacchino called Married Life, which was made famous from the movie Up, Pixar's Up. So that was another piece, and you'll hear moments of that throughout my piece, because I try to capture that playfulness, which both of those pieces have. Yeah, and so simple melody. This is meant to represent the first subject, which is a calm, kind of cute little character. Now, just before I continue, I want to talk about the sonata form and what it is and how it works in my piece. So first of all, I know that sonata forms can sound daunting and complicated. At its heart, it is a battle between 2 ideas. So you've got idea number 1, idea number 2, which are introduced at the first bit of the music. They fight it out in the middle, and at the end, they make peace with each other. That's kind of how it works. And so you will hear my first idea is this cute little character, kind of cute, calm, simple, charming character. And then I have a little bridge which transitions it into the second character, which is of a very different nature. Let's talk about the bridge first. Now, in the bridge, I was, once again, having a bit of fun, trying to work out how I can represent the THX big sound. This is a THX big sound. You would have heard it at the start of most movies. And everyone loves this. There's something just glorious about that piece of music. I was trying to go for how to do that on the piano. And so what I did was I started with a single note in the middle, and I started expanding outwards, chromatically outwards, and in confusion at the end there comes a bit of harmony towards the end. So that's what I was trying to go for, which is pretty exciting. And some of these chords are silly. Like towards the end, I was going from E flat, trying to transition into A flat. Wait a minute. I started on E, and I basically stepped down the chromatic until I landed on my final note of A flat, which is this huge, like, I don't know, like 9-step chromatic bass line going down. Crazy stuff. I liked it because it was like chaos and order towards the end. One other thing though is this, after I composed it, I now kind of can hear a bit of chopsticks in it. Which is another, charming kid song, which is kind of in this bridge bit. So, yeah, I don't know whether I thought about it first or later, chicken or the egg, I don't know, but it kind of features there as well. This is my second subject. Super jumpy, exciting, completely different to the first subject, which was calm and charming. Now this kind of says Chopin to me. It sounds so much like a Chopin waltz or whatever. After I composed it, I found out that the opening sounds a lot like the opening of the Raindrop Prelude that Chopin did. It's got the same rhythm. And the middle bit, the repeated G sharp or A flat. So, I mean, I didn't actively plagiarize off them, but I can certainly hear their influences in my piece, which is exciting. But yes, this is the jumpy, charming bit. The jumpy bit, exciting bit. Let's move on to the development. Now, as I said, the point of the sonata form in the development is the two characters battle it out. It's the complication of the story. It's where things get messy. So what did I do? I used the first 4 notes of the tune. I used the first 3 notes of the second subject, and I used the first 4 notes of the first subject. And I kind of put them head to head, got them to battle it out, along with a descending bass line. My bass line kind of goes from C, it crawls its way down until it finishes on G, and then it heads back into the recap. So that's the idea of the development. The idea is battle it out. So it gets messier and messier, I guess. And you can now see the descending bass line, C going down to B flat, and so on. So that's the idea of the development. It's quite a simple development, just one idea repeated with a harmonic roller coaster. The harmony kind of, goes weird places. Eventually, it settles on G, which is a dominant of C, so it returns home. Now, as I said at the start, the sonata form in its recapitulation is really just a repeat of the start, but everyone is at the same home now. You're not in different keys, you're in the same key. And so that's how the piece finishes. I have another, big THX sound. Once again, I find this part just so charming because it starts on some obscure key like A flat, and somehow it walked its way. Walks its way down to C. It's got that kind of crazy chaos to order sound about it. Finally, now towards the end of my piece, I started drawing inspiration from Franz Liszt. I've loved Franz Liszt since I was a child. He is what got me into playing music. I saw Bugs Bunny on TV playing a Franz Liszt Second Hungarian Rhapsody. That got me super excited. You'll hear of like every other musician who loves that piece. Piano, people like Long Long and all these other people, they love just seeing cartoons play that piece. That's what got me into music, and I was inspired by Fran's list here because another YouTuber, piano composer, pianist, whatever, Nare Soul, you would have seen a few of her videos. She did a recent tour to the homeland of Liszt and found out a lot and was inspired by Liszt and his composition, made it real. And likewise, I was inspired by that by watching her do her journey. And so Liszt inspired me with this frenzied ending to my piece. So crazy jumps, descending diminished ideas. Theme to finish. So that's my comp. Yeah, I really enjoyed composing it and I learned a lot about my own compositional style. Please have a go at composing yourself. It's not as daunting as you think. It's actually a lot of fun, especially if you're a performer, you've done music before. Get on composing, express yourself through composition. It's more fun. It's not as scary as you think. So go and do it. You're gonna learn so much from it. I'm gonna sign out there. Thanks for joining me for this, and this won't be my last comp, as you know. So check out there. See ya.